Welcome back to the battle between Zatanna versus Pinhead. A confrontation between Zatanna Zatara, the renowned sorceress of the DC universe, and Pinhead, the Hell Priest and leader of the Cenobites from the Hellraiser horror universe, is an immensely complex puzzle. Even at their base levels, both characters represent the pinnacle of reality manipulation and sheer will. Yet they emerge from two entirely different frames of reference. Zatanna embodies mainstream magic, dazzling, rooted in the macrocosmology of a superhero world where concepts of divinity, the multiverse, and metaphysical dimensions intertwine. Pinhead, by contrast, is the embodiment of micro-horror and an extreme philosophy of asceticism, where the boundary between pain and pleasure is erased, and the laws of physics are bent by the non-Euclidean geometry of the lament configuration. Who will be the last one standing? Let's get started.
First up is Zatanna Zatara, the queen of logomancy. Zatanna Zatara was born into a family of stage magicians, but behind the glamorous performances lies an ancient and powerful magical heritage. Her father, Giovanni Zatara, was one of Earth's greatest sorcerers, and her mother, Cindella, was a member of the Homo Magi race, an evolutionary offshoot of humanity born with an innate ability to sense and manipulate magic. The combination of her Homo Magi bloodline and her father's rigorous training transformed Zatanna into one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful, sorceresses in existence. She is a pillar of Justice League Dark, the team specializing in supernatural threats that even Superman or Batman are helpless against. The nature of Zatanna's power lies in logomancy word magic. Unlike Doctor Strange or Constantine, who use spells, symbols, and dimensional conduits to borrow power from other entities, Zatanna directly commands the universe. When she speaks a spell backward, for example, Sreepa to make something appear, she is not just reciting an incantation, she is rewriting the source code of reality. As a logomancer, Zatanna can directly access this fundamental layer of language. She does not borrow power, she orders reality to change, and the universe is forced to comply. Zatanna's capabilities are so vast as to be nearly limitless, bound only by her imagination, her focus, and her physical endurance. Defensively, she can create kinetic shields capable of blocking physical and energy attacks on a destructive scale. She has withstood attacks from Darkseid, one of the most powerful cosmic entities, and survived. Offensively, Zatanna can manipulate the elements, fire, water, earth, air, manipulate time, slowing, stopping, or reversing it within a localized area, teleport herself and others across dimensions, and perform transmutation, turning stone into gold, air into water, or altering the biological structure of an enemy. More frighteningly, Zatanna possesses the ability to manipulate minds and souls. She can read thoughts, control the behavior of others, and even separate the soul from the physical body. In major DC events, she has proven her ability to confront conceptual entities. She has fought Eclipso, the entity representing the wrath of God, and held her own against the power of the Spectre. When necessary, Zatanna can connect to cosmic energy sources like the red, the green, or the clear to amplify her power to a planetary scale. However, immense power always comes with critical limitations, and Zatanna is no exception. Her greatest weakness, and the deciding factor in all her life or death battles, is the activation mechanism of her magic. Zatanna needs to speak. She must utter words, albeit backwards, to command reality. If she is gagged, rendered unconscious, or placed in a vacuum where sound cannot travel, even though magic can transcend physics, concentrating on language in such an environment is excruciating. Her power is completely nullified. In those moments, she is just an ordinary human with the physical durability of a female gymnast. Furthermore, Zatanna's magic requires intense concentration and drains her life force. Performing spells on a cosmic scale, such as altering reality across the multiverse, can leave her exhausted, bleeding from the nose, or even comatose. Psychologically, Zatanna carries deep-seated trauma. The death of her father, betrayals by friends, and the burden of constantly having to save the world sometimes push her into a state of instability. Self-doubt or negative emotions can interrupt her spellcasting, creating fatal openings in her combat. Now, let's talk about Pinhead, the Hell Priest. The Hell Priest is the embodiment of stillness, asceticism, and metaphysical horror. Pinhead is not a demon in the traditional Christian religious sense. In the Hellraiser universe created by Clive Barker, the Cenobites consider themselves explorers in the further regions of experience. To them, the boundary between angel and demon is a meaningless concept. They are the ascetic monks of a trans-dimensional sect called the Order of the Gash. Their core philosophy is the absolute fusion of pain and pleasure. They believe that through the tearing of flesh and the prolonging of agony to infinity, the soul achieves states of transcendence that ordinary people cannot comprehend. Pinhead's origin begins with Elliot Spencer, a British veteran of the First World War. Spencer was a man haunted by the senselessness of war, torn apart by deep psychological trauma and loss. He sought out extreme pleasures and ultimately solved the lament configuration. Upon solving the box, Spencer's soul and body were stripped away, remodeled, and reborn as the Hell Priest, leader of the Cenobites. This transformation was not merely physical. It was a metaphysical brainwashing, turning Elliot Spencer into an entity that is cold, brutal, and utterly bound by the doctrines of the Order. Pinhead's power is not based on hurling fireballs or altering the weather. His power is architectural and conceptual in nature. Pinhead is an entity of the Labyrinth dimension, a metaphysical realm where non-Euclidean geometry reigns supreme, where space and time are twisted into infinite structures of suffering. When Pinhead enters the human material world, usually through the box being solved, he brings with him a portion of the Labyrinth's reality, imposing it upon our own. Pinhead possesses the ability to manipulate magnetism and gravity on a localized level, but his most distinct manifestation is his chains. These chains are not purely physical, they are an extension of his will, capable of appearing from nothingness, piercing through space, and hooking into the flesh of victims. They not only cause physical wounds but also rend the soul, stretching the sensation of agony to a point where the victim wishes for death but cannot die. Pinhead can teleport, but not in the way Zatanna does. He steps through the fissures of space, appearing and vanishing like a horrifying apparition. Pinhead is virtually immortal in the material world. He possesses no internal organs in the biological sense. He has been torn apart, incinerated, and beheaded, but as long as his will persists and his sect summons him, he will regenerate. His body is a canvas of asceticism, stitched together with black threads and pins, a work of art born of pain. He is immune to most physical attacks, and conventional energy attacks only provide him with pleasure rather than causing harm. However, Pinhead's power is bound by the extremely strict rules of the Order of the Gash. This is his fatal weakness. Pinhead cannot kill arbitrarily. He can only act when there is an invitation, when someone solves the lament configuration. He is constrained by the dogmas of his sect. If the victim does not solve the box, or if there is interference from entities of equal standing, or if the victim finds a way to close the box again, Pinhead and his Cenobites are compelled to retreat. He is a bureaucrat of hell, an enforcer of the laws of pain, not a wild monster. Furthermore, although immortal in the material world, Pinhead can still be harmed by magical or divine entities of a higher order. Additionally, sacred artifacts, the light of pure faith, or the reverse structure of the configuration itself can cause him agony or banish him. Pinhead is a master within his own domain, but when he steps outside it, he must still abide by certain laws of the multiverse. First of all, we have a confrontation between a sorceress capable of rewriting the source code of the universe with her words, and a trans-dimensional ascetic priest capable of tearing reality apart with the laws of pain. A battle between Zatanna and Pinhead. Pinhead will appear with his chains, coldly delivering his iconic line, "Demons to some, angels to others." Zatanna, with her keen magical senses, will immediately recognize that this is no ordinary demon, but an entity from another dimension. Pinhead will attack with his chains. This is a combined physical and magical assault. Zatanna will use her kinetic shields to block them. Pinhead's chains are extremely sharp and capable of rending even space itself, but Zatanna's shields are forged from pure will and magic. Zatanna will easily block the initial chain strikes. However, Pinhead does not attack with mere brute force. He will attempt to drag Zatanna into the labyrinth, using his chains to restrain her and silence her mouth. With the speed and suddenness of a trans-dimensional entity, he could use his chains to gag Zatanna or constrict her throat, preventing her from uttering a single word. Zatanna would then lose her ability to perform logomancy. At that moment, she would be just an ordinary human facing an immortal entity. Pinhead would slowly tear her apart, and Zatanna would lose in an agonizingly horrific ending. However, Zatanna is no amateur mage. She is a core member of the Justice League, someone who has fought countless demons and supernatural entities. Her reflexes in spellcasting are instinctual. If she manages to utter a spell in time, the balance will immediately tip in her favor. When Pinhead tries to pull Zatanna into the labyrinth, he will warp the surrounding space, creating non-Euclidean geometries to disorient her and drag her soul into the maze. But this is where the difference in cosmology comes into play. The Labyrinth of Hellraiser is a terrifying dimension, but it is merely a localized dimension, a tiny heaven, hell compared to the scale of the multiverse. Zatanna has traveled through the Phantom Zone, through the dimensions of Apocalypse, and has even faced abstract cosmic concepts. Her magic operates on a multiversal scale. When Pinhead tries to drag Zatanna into the labyrinth, Zatanna can simply use magic to lock space down or teleport herself out of that dimension. Moreover, Pinhead's power heavily depends on the lament configuration and the rules of the Order. Zatanna, with her ability to comprehend the nature of magic, will quickly realize that Pinhead is not an omnipotent god, but merely a tool or priest executing the will of a larger structure. Zatanna can use magic to analyze and even seal the configuration, or sever the connection between Pinhead and his dimension. Pinhead's fatal weakness is that he is bound by rules. He cannot harm those who did not summon him, and he can be banished if the box is closed. Zatanna, with her ability to manipulate reality and matter, could perfectly well transform the box into a lump of stone, or teleport the box into another dimension where it cannot be solved. If Pinhead tries to attack directly using the magic of the Order, such as inflicting painful hallucinations or assaulting the mind, Zatanna, with the iron will of someone who has faced Darkseid and Eclipso, will effortlessly erect psychic barriers. Zatanna's magic is conceptual. She can speak Snoit Purify or Esyugs Exercise to attack the transdimensional essence of Pinhead directly. Zatanna can command reality that Pinhead cannot exist in this dimension, and the universe will be forced to execute that order. Pinhead, although immortal in the material world, still has a soul and an essence that can be affected by cosmic-level magic. Considering the overall scope of power, the nature of their magic, and their cosmological scale, Zatara is clearly superior. Pinhead is a ruler within his domain of pain, a fearsome priest of a transdimensional sect. But Zatanna is a queen of reality, someone who can speak to the universe and make it listen. Zatanna's magic operates on a multiversal level, while Pinhead's power is limited by the rules of the configuration and the labyrinth dimension. Zatanna possesses the knowledge, the power, and the adaptability to recognize Pinhead's nature, seal the box, and banish him back to his own dimension. Therefore, in my opinion, Zatanna will be the winner. What do you all think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you all very much.